So let's go back. So let's first of all talk about your story and how you ended up. Because I know that you, as a child, knew that you had an incredible intuition, and then in your teens kind of just poo-pooed it and went, I'm not looking at that. But you can't ignore that sort of stuff. So just talk to me about how you ended up where you are today.
Yeah, so I grew up in like a Catholic church. So my thinking was very binary and linear. I just thought, okay, I'm here and we'll go to heaven or we'll go to hell, and I'll do everything in my power to avoid going to hell.
Yep.
Sounds like the bad place.
Sounds really, really hard and really horrible there.
Exactly. But I was just very aware that I was just always asking questions. And I think it was definitely because I'm an only child. So when my friends were on the playground, I was just like, I wonder why I have an arm. There could be so many things that we could have. Why is this here? And I would look in the mirror and be like, wow, like I'm just like a human being. And I thought this was very normal until I realized it was not that normal. I should have just been playing with my dolls. But I was just very curious about life and why we were here and how we were here. So I think I always felt that within my skin, I was beyond my skin. And I was trying to find an answer for that since a very young age. And I think the first realizations of that, knowing that I was a spiritual being, was just knowing that, oh, I had a dream last night that something happened and then it happens. I knew that my paternal grandmother died before she died, before my dad told me. And just like these little breadcrumbs of things, I was just like, do you do that as well? And everyone's like, no. I do not do that. It's weird. And I think, when you get to a certain age, you're just like, I don't know if this is cool.
Yeah, it's a shame that gets beaten out of us, isn't it?
I really do think, and I see in my work now that when we're younger, we're so connected to spirit, whatever you want to call it. We're so connected.
Yeah.
And it's like, do we have imaginary friends, or is it actually just like spirit talking to us? And I was convinced for such a long time that maybe we all are just so connected when we're younger, but we just, life happens, boys happen, and we get distracted by shopping and makeup and stuff. So I just ignored it until I think maybe around 15. And I was doing my GCSEs and I was like, there has to be an easier way. I don't feel like I want to study as hard as everyone else is. So I was just like, I'll just wait and see what happens. And I found the law of attraction at 15. And I was just like, this is it. This is how I'm going to pass all my GCSEs. And I just started to manifest. And I realized really early on that I'm really powerful. And I think that was just the greatest gift that I had in my whole life, was just that realization so early in my life that I have power to do things here that are beyond my control.
Yeah.
And I think, I had a traumatic childhood. So my mum nearly died when I was 8 years old. My parents broke up when I was 15. I was raped when I was 15. And I felt like my whole life was a series of life happening to me. We were made homeless, and I just really felt like a victim of life. So having that shift to, I can do something with that. That was a huge turning point for me. I had two options. I lived in East London, in Tower Hamlets, and I was around drugs all the time, and I was around gangs, and I just thought, I have two choices here. I can either surrender to that, or I can do something else. And there was just not an option for me. So I think that crucial moment of realizing that I had power to do something, even when the entire world said I couldn't, was everything.
I mean, it's extraordinary because it is the age as well where we're so influenced as a teenager to do what our friends are doing or just follow the crowd, even if it's revising for exams or whatever. So it's amazing you were able to just tune into your intuition that you knew was there, sort of lying dormant, and to go with that. And I think it's also a really interesting point when we're talking about manifesting, which I keep going back to because I'm sort of ever curious and sort of never feel like I really properly understand it. But in the book you talk about this, saying, okay, so you had that realization, which was a huge turning point for you. But manifesting isn't that simple. So you were saying in the book that you had cognitively an issue with money, or you thought you just couldn't get it. It wasn't in your grasp. But it wasn't as simple as, I'm just going to manifest loads of wealth, let's go. First of all, you had to look at your ancestry, the racism that you'd been subjected to, where you lived, how your parents had survived. And after unpicking that, then you can go, I'm ready, let's start afresh. So I'm imagining, it's always an interesting combination when there's a spiritual element teamed with, whatever you want to call it, inner work, or if it's therapeutic work, or your own sort of self-healing. That's really powerful when teamed together.
For sure. I think there is, we always want proof of things working. So much of manifesting now is linked to like neuroscience, for example, as a way to legitimize it, which obviously it helps, to sell courses and books and so on, to say that, there's actual science behind this. And for me, it's just like, I just believed in something. And I just trusted that that thing that I believed in would help me to navigate a human experience. And that was what my manifesting practice looked like. Because, when you are, 15, you're in temporary accommodation because you've been made homeless, and you're sitting there thinking the only way out of this is if I win the lottery or become a millionaire through manifesting. And then you realize, well, how can I get out of here? And, the books then say, well, if you haven't received it yet, you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
And I realized, through from 15 to now, that so many people are struggling with manifesting as a practice and saying, it's not working for me. And when I tell the teacher it's not working, they just keep saying, you're not doing the work hard enough. And I sat to myself and I realized, well, what's the work that they're telling you to do? And the work was just, to think positively, or to believe it will happen, or to go to work, or to take action. I was like, well, what about the stuff you're carrying? Because when I was in that room, homeless with no money, my mum's on benefits, how am I going to manifest my way out of that? Because I believed in something that could have that power, but fundamentally my belief system was shot.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to believe in. So it has to take more than belief for us to manifest. It has to account for our actual human reality, because we're also, we're both, right? So we're spiritual beings, but we're also human beings. And I think we have to account for the trauma that people have experienced, racism. Did you go up with money or not? That will hugely impact if you can manifest, £10,000.